Hi guys, let's discuss current affairs, and this is for the period between 30th March and 12th April this year. Let's start with a question on the Commonwealth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commonwealth is a group of 56 member countries. How many? 56 member countries, and all of these 56 countries, or most of these 56 member countries, have been ruled by the Britain, by the United Kingdom sometime in the past. So now these are the countries you see in blue here, dark blue. These are the countries that are members of the, the Commonwealth. Now let me use red here, 56. Okay, but you can see here this is a particular color here, orange here. This is the only country, this and the Republic of Ireland here. These two countries are no longer members. They have been suspended. This is Zimbabwe, that's the Republic of Ireland. Now this in green is partially suspended, that's Gabon there. Okay, but otherwise there are major members. You look at India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, you have Malaysia, Papua New Guinea here. There are British overseas territories here in the Pacific Ocean as well as the Indian Ocean here, and of course you can see here in the Caribbean as well. Now this is Australia, New Zealand, and of course Britain up there. This is Malta, Cyprus, a lot of countries, Canada up there. Yeah, there is British Guyana, and this country where you see is Belize. Belize. It's the only country in Central America that was ruled by Britain and still remains part of the Commonwealth. As I mentioned earlier, Commonwealth is a group of 56 member countries that were more or less, ruled by Britain at some point in history. Okay, so this lady, we were discussing the new Secretary General, Shirley Botchway. She is from Ghana. She is from Ghana. This is Ghana. Okay, she is from Ghana. And the Commonwealth is headquartered in London. It's headquartered in London. So let me bring in a couple of more organizations, ladies and gentlemen, for you. The United Nations, as you would know, the United Nations, is a voluntary body that's, that has it's a peace body, the world's largest peace organization. It has 193 members plus two observer states. Okay, and these two observer states will be the Vatican City and Palestine. The IOC is the International Olympic Committee. This is in this case I'll bring in a few more things. The IOC is headquartered in Lausanne. Lausanne, as you know, is a town in Switzerland. Okay, and it's going to be headed by a woman. I think this is the first time a woman would head the IOC. Ladies and gentlemen, Christy Coventry is going to be the new president of the IOC. She comes from this country, Zimbabwe. Okay, so the IOC is going to have a new president. That would be sometime in September, but she's already been elected, so she's the president-elect. NATO, as you would know, is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It has 32 members, and it's more of a military alliance between countries in North America, especially Canada, United States, and a lot of countries in Europe. Now let's bring in the Secretary General's name. It's Mark Rutte. Mark Rutte, he is a former Prime Minister of the Netherlands, and NATO is headquartered in Brussels. It's headquartered in Brussels, which, as you know, is the capital of Belgium. The International Labour Organization is headquartered in Geneva, which is in Switzerland, and it's headed by a Togo politician, a diplomat named Gilbert. Let me spell it correctly. Yeah, I think it just went together actually. Gilbert, Gilbert Humbo. He comes from this country, small country here in between. You see this here, tiny country that's not colored, that's Togo. It is Togo. So that's about it. This question, I think we brought in a lot of things, my friends. I didn't mention the name of the Secretary General of the UN because you already know the name. Antonio Guterres of Portugal. 5 nations, including Finland and Poland, have announced their withdrawal from the Ottawa Convention, which is about, see, this convention is also called the Ottawa Treaty. This is about banning anti-personnel landmines. Now, in the First World War, a lot of landmines were used, in enemy territory, especially in enemy territory. And today, 5 countries have announced their withdrawal. We mentioned Poland and Finland. This is Poland here. This is Poland. You can see this in green. This is Finland, again in green, slightly different, darker green. And these 3 countries, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Okay. So, these 3, Estonia, Latvia, I would use white from the next one unless it's really important it becomes necessary for us to use red, like in this case, in the case of this map. These 3 are called Baltic States. These are called Baltic States because there is a water body here called the Baltic Sea, which also is the least saline water body in the world. Among all saline bodies, this is the least saline. That's because this is more or less landlocked. Pretty little salt water, from the Atlantic Ocean comes in through this area. Plus, there are a lot of rivers here that drain into the water body, thus decreasing the saline content in the in this water body. Okay, I guess that's about it, my friends. There's not much that we should be discussing. If you would want to know the capitals, of course, Finland's capital is Helsinki, Helsinki. Poland is run from Warsaw, Warsaw. Warsaw. This is Estonia, whose capital is Tallinn. I think, yeah, it's Tallinn. This is Estonia. Latvia is ruled from Riga, Riga, and the last one, Lithuania, is Vilnius. The capital is Vilnius. I guess we got there, yeah. You don't really need the leaders of these countries, especially like, Lithuania, the president is Gitanas Nausėda. A bit confusing, so we'll just keep it there, okay. GM, as you would know, is genetically modified. The World Health Day 2025 was observed recently on 7th April under the theme of Healthy Beginnings, Hopeful Futures. And the World Health Day is celebrated on 7th April primarily because on 7th April 1948, the World Health Organization was established. Which year? 1948. So, ladies and gentlemen, 7th April 1948 is the foundation day of the World Health Organization. This is headquartered. The World Health Organization is, I said the World Health Day. It's World Health Organization. The World Health Organization was set up in 1948 and it's headquartered in Geneva, just like the International Labour Organization. And one more thing, it's the chief of the WHO is Tedros Adhanom. Tedros Adhanom. Okay, yeah, I'll use yellow. Let me use yellow or white here. I like colors, but the yellow and white go well with the black background. Under the UNFCCC, now what could this be? The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Let me repeat, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, simply called the United Nations Climate Change Conference. Okay. So, under the UNFCCC, which country has proposed a global climate summit ahead of the COP30? COP would be Conference of Parties. Conference of Parties 30th summit in Belém. Where is Belém? It's in Brazil. It's in Brazil. Okay. So, that's about it, my friends. Not much to discuss here. Who is the Brazilian president who will be more or less the chair of the COP30? Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Lula da Silva. Luis Inacio Lula da Silva. Lula is his nickname. So, if you remember the word Lula, that should be it, my friends. Yeah. Brazil is the 5th largest country in the world by area. It's about 85 lakh square kilometers. That would make it, ladies and gentlemen, the 5th largest in the world by area. And by the way, these are BRICS countries, aren't they? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Yeah, the original 5 members of the BRICS. The 4th edition of exercise Tiger Triumph, took place in Visakhapatnam. It's a bilateral tri-service between 2 countries and tri-service involving the Navy, the Army and the Air Force, humanitarian assistance and disaster relief exercise between India and the United States. Now, between the UN, India and Russia, there is Indra. What is it? Indra. Between India and Japan, there is a military exercise called Dharma Guardian. Dharma Guardian. Okay. Coming to France, well, with France we have had, Varuna, and with the UK, Konkan. Let's call it Konkan. So, I guess that's about it. From there, let's go to the next one. India celebrated 52 years of Project Tiger because it was launched in April 1973. Identify the correct statements. All of them are correct because India today has the largest tiger population in the world. About 3,682 tigers are there in India, and this would represent 75% of the wild tiger population in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tiger Project and Project Tiger, let's call it that way. Project Tiger has been enormously successful. Today we have 58. What does it mention here? Yeah, 58 tiger reserves across India, and the latest tiger reserve is Guru Ghasidas. Guru Ghasidas. This is in Chhattisgarh. Guru Ghasidas in Chhattisgarh. That's the 58th tiger reserve of India. Guru Ghasidas. It's already mentioned that the International Tiger Day is celebrated on 29th July. Yeah, I guess that's what it. Yeah, since we mentioned Project Tiger, Project Elephant was launched in 1992. 1992. Under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, okay, MG Narega, it's in short called Narega. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. The daily wage has been raised from 349 to 370 rupees. But what is this scheme about? Under this scheme, launched sometime in 2005-06, at least one member of a rural household, shall be given 100 days of employment. 100 days of employment. Okay. So, if such employment is not provided within 15 days of the application of work, then the person is entitled to wages, equal wages. I mean, for the number of days not worked. You understand that? Yes. So, this has been an enormously successful program, my friends. Now, why are people given employment through this? Because rural areas, as you know, have a substantially large population in India, and also the fact that in search of work, because there are not many opportunities available in rural areas, not many people have got the skills to get jobs in urban areas. Rural areas have a high degree of unemployment. To make sure that people don't move to urban areas and add to congestion, crime, because we already have a lot of crime in urban areas, and that's because, of course, for a variety of reasons. But importantly, people in rural areas are generally harder working than in urban areas, as we all know that. These guys are given work to build community assets, roads, primary healthcare centers, hospitals, larger hospitals. schools, afforestation programs, check dams. So, these are durable community assets. So, the community benefits, the guy who is working also benefits. Yeah, it is a win-win for everyone actually. But it also stems migration to urban areas. If we provide better employment opportunities to our people in rural areas, things will work much better, my friends. But that is also has been the bane of the reforms program in India, that mostly it would not be an exaggeration to say that in urban areas you find a wider share of development, fruits of development than in rural areas. Things have worked in rural areas positively, but not to the extent that they have worked in urban areas. Yeah. So, who has won the 2025 Nobel Prize? This is Masaki Kashiwara of Japan, my friends. He is a professor of mathematics in Japan. The Nobel Prize is considered the Nobel, the math Nobel, or the Nobel Prize of mathematics. Mathematics. This is named after a person called Hans, or Hans Henrik. Okay, let me clear this first. Hans Henrik Abel. He belonged to he belonged to Norway. And he was a mathematician. This prize is the highest award in the world of mathematics, because see that there is another prize, Fields Medal, that is given to only those mathematicians who are par excellence but are under the age of 40. This is open to all. And what is the prize money? This year's prize money was this, okay, 873,000 American dollars. That is a lot of money. Yeah. So, now I was reading about him, and trust me, except for the fact that he is a mathematician and that he is from Japan, that he is a professor at the Tokyo Institute of Advanced Study and everything, I could barely understand anything like whatever he is dealing with. Yeah, math is not something that I can say I am comfortable with. Yeah. So, this is, ladies and gentlemen, Masaki Kashiwara. Nice question. You look at this bridge, my friends. Yeah. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated India's first vertical lift sea bridge called the new Pamban Bridge. This is where this is the new one. Okay, I think this is again a problem. This is a map. This is a picture, and with that kind of background, you won't be able to see. This is a new bridge. This is the old bridge. Okay, the old bridge was constructed in 1914. Can you beat this? 1914. The new bridge is basically, it's about it has a road. It has a rail line. It has a rail line. Now, the unique thing about this is that there are two things here. One you should know is that it connects Rameshwaram, which is on Pamban Island. What is it? That's right. You see this? This is Pamban Bridge. It's on Pamban Island. For Hindus, it's a pretty important pilgrimage site, Rameshwaram. So, Rameshwaram is on Pamban Island, and this connects Rameshwaram on Pamban Island with mainland India. That is about it, nothing else. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a distance of 2.07 kilometers. Yes, you heard it right. That is about it, nothing extraordinary. Yeah, I mean in terms of distance, okay, nothing more. Now, one more thing you need to know is this. Here you see this, the bridge opens so that ships could go. Ships up to a height of about 72 feet, can move through this, my friends. Yeah. This bridge is about 9 feet higher than this bridge. It's fascinating, ain't it? What engineering is. Yeah. This Port Blair, I wanted to change the choice, but I decided that while my colleague had put it, he wanted me to tell you the new name of Port Blair, which is Sri Vijayapuram. What is it? Sri Vijayapuram. Yeah, Sri Vijayapuram. So, the new Pamban bridge, ladies and gentlemen, connects Rameshwaram on Pamban Island with mainland India at distance of 2.07 kilometers, and you know, it replaces more or less because this old bridge was stopped being, you know, used, it was stopped, I think sometime in 2017 it was stopped actually. So, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the theme Yoga for One Earth, One Health for the current this year's International Day of Yoga, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is on June June 21st. June 21st. So, every year we have the International Day of Yoga on June 21st. Okay. I think this was adopted in 2014 by the UN, my friends, by the UN. As Sivasubramaniam Raman is the new chairperson of the PFRDA, which is the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. Let me repeat, Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority has a new chairperson, Sivasubramaniam Raman. He earlier headed SIDBI. So, SIDBI is now run by Manoj Mittal. Manoj Mittal. So, Manoj Mittal runs SIDBI and Sivasubramaniam runs PFRDA. Now, PFRDA, as you know, is a regulatory body of the pension sector in India. We have the government pension scheme NPS, National Pension Scheme, yeah, and IRDAI. This is Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India Limited. Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. This has a head named Debashish Panda. But his term more or less has ended. There is no new guy, no replacement announced. So, Debashish Panda here, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, which is the regulatory body for the, you know, telecom sector, the internet service provider sector and all that. So, my friends, is headed by Anil Kumar Lahoti. Anil Kumar Lahoti, LAHOTI. SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, as you know, this is the regulatory body for, you know, the stock markets, which includes both the primary market where companies raise capital, you know, through issue of shares, and the secondary market where people buy and sell shares. That, ladies and gentlemen, also brings in the stock exchanges within the ambit of SEBI. SEBI is run by Tuhin Kanta Pandey. Tuhin Kanta Pandey. Tuhin Kanta Pandey. Okay. So, this is Anil Kumar Lahoti. RBI, Reserve Bank of India, the regulatory body of the banking sector, my friends, it's headed by, you know, Sanjay Malhotra. That was the easiest one, isn't it? The Supreme Court of Collegium has recommended the appointment of Justice Arun Pally as the Chief Justice of J&K and Ladakh High Court. You know, formerly union territories, currently union territories, formerly one state. So, they got this, you know, High Court, and Justice Arun Pally will be the new Chief Justice of that. As far as High Courts are concerned in India, my friends, you know, the oldest is Madras High Court. The oldest is Madras High Court. This was, I think, set up in June 1862. June 1862. Madras High Court, followed by Calcutta High Court, okay, July 1862, and Bombay in August, August 18, the same year, 1862. I think it stuck, no issue. Yeah, 1862. 1862. Okay. That's about it, I think. These are the oldest high courts, and the Supreme Court of India comprises nearly 33 judges plus 1 CGI. That would make it 34. That would make it 34, my friends. Okay, from there, let's go to the next one. Which international IT giant recently celebrated its 50th anniversary? It was in April 1975. April 1975 that Microsoft was established. It was started by two persons, Paul Allen, okay, and William Gates. William is an actual name of a person nicknamed Bill. So, Bill Gates is William Gates. Okay. So, if you find Bill, remember it is William. It is William. Okay. Usually Pat is Patrick, usually. Bob is Robert, Dick is Richard, like that. Okay. So, this was started in 1975. Today, Microsoft is humongous, my friends, isn't it? It is pretty large. It is the largest software company in the world by revenue. Apple, let me bring in a little more, just one more. Apple, my friends, is was started in 1976 by three persons. Steve Jobs, another Steve Wozniak, okay. The third was a guy called Ronald Wayne. Not many have heard of him. Now you know Ronald Wayne. Within 2 weeks of his founding the company, he sold his shares to Steve Jobs for $800. Yeah. So, these are the three companies. Okay. Yeah. One more. Okay. Let me, since I am looking at, so you would know about Google. So, let me bring in Oracle. One of the world's largest IT companies, especially in open source, you have relational database management and all. It is a huge company. This company is founded by three persons, Larry Ellison, who is still the chairperson, Bob Miner. Bob, as I said, is Robert Miner, and Ed Oates. Three guys started Oracle. And okay, last one. I will ignore Apple, IBM. Google's founded by Larry. Larry is Lawrence Page, and another guy, Sergey Brin. Yeah, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Two guys started this. Okay. Just to bring in, it is headed by an Indian. The chairman and CEO of IBM is Arvind Krishna. Oracle CEO is Safra Katz. We discussed the founders. Just let me bring in, okay, this. Microsoft, Satyanarayana Nadella. Apple, Tim Cook. We are discussing only CEOs, my friends. Tim Cook. Okay. Google, Sundar Rajan Pichai. The CEOs, my friends. Fair. In a landmark judgment, the Supreme Court of India has ruled that Tamil Nadu's governor Ravindra Narayan Ravi is moved to reserve 10 bills for president. The Supreme Court said that the president, the governor cannot withhold his assent to bills that have already been passed by the assembly twice. First time it was sent to the assembly had sent the bill to the governor for his assent, approval. He returned them with certain recommendations or certain reservations. Again, the bill was passed by the assembly. This time the governor has no choice but to accept those recommendations. But R. N. Ravi, the former IPS officer and currently the governor of Tamil Nadu, sat on the bills for almost 3 months. So the government of Tamil Nadu went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, told the governor that you got to clear bills. Yeah, I would not go there. The chief minister only, please. Muthuvel Karunanidhi Stalin. Muthuvel Karunanidhi Stalin. Okay. Nothing more, my friends, that I want to spend time on. Odisha Chief Minister is Mohan Charan Majhi. Mohan Charan Majhi. Tamil Nadu, we mentioned. Telangana, the place I mean. A. Revant Reddy. Andhra Pradesh, N. Chandrababu Naidu. Karnataka, Siddharamaiah. The Amalsad Chiku. Amalsad is a village from where this sapodilla. Chiku in English is called sapodilla. Okay? Yeah. Very pulpy, sweet fruit, my friend. Small one. Okay? This Chiku of Amalsad, which is in Gujarat, there is a district called Navsari near Surat, my friends. You would find this. Yeah? It's famous the Chiku is from this place is quite famous. So it got a GI, geographical tag because of its localization, because of the region where it's grown. It has a certain aroma, certain taste, only because of where it's grown, So that's the GI there. Padma Shri awardee Ram Sahai Pandey, who passed away recently, was a legendary figure in the Rai folk dance. Rai is Bundelkhandi, Madhya Pradesh folk dance. Bundelkhandi dance, my friends. What is it? Bundelkhandi dance. Paika and Hunta are from Jharkhand. They are, Jharkhand folk dances. Bihu, Assam. Satriya is a classical dance in Assam. You know that? Satriya is a classical dance in Assam. Okay, there we go, my friends. Hardly anything else to discuss. I was reading about him and I found that he was born into a Brahmin family, and his parents died when he was very young. And he had faced his brothers and he faced enormous economic troubles, my friends. No money to eat and all. And one of those days he happened to visit the village festival, nearby village. There was a fair mela, yeah. And he went there, he found the locals performing this dance, Rai dance. He fell in love with it, and ever since then he took it upon himself to popularize it. He became a legend in that. Look what people do, what stories people have, how they are inspired and how they dedicate themselves to whatever they are inspired about, isn't it? As part of the fourth phase of the regional rural bank consolidation, the Department of Financial Services has notified the merging of 26 RRBs into one RRB under the one state, one RRB principle. Okay? One state, one RRB principle. I found this a seriously interesting thing here. Today, my friends, we have 43 RRBs, currently. Now, these are across 26 states and 2 union territories, but 26 will go away, yeah, and 26 will go away, and there will be 27 or 28 RRBs which will cover 700 districts with 22,000 branches. Can you beat this? Regional rural banks, more or less, have been pretty important. They have played a great role, a very important role in India's in providing access to rural folks, especially credit access to rural folks for agricultural operations. Yeah, they have played a seminal and important role in India's economic development, rural development. Which state government has inked investment agreement worth what $50 billion at the India Global Summit's next 25 summit. This was held in Mumbai. But you have to understand, these are all promises. Okay, the foreigner says, the investor says, we will invest in your state. How much does this translate into actual investment is the most important thing, my friends. So this was India Global Forum's next 25 summit was held in Mumbai. That's more important. And Mumbai, Maharashtra got the bulk of the investments here. Okay, promises actually. As you know, the Maharashtra Chief Minister is Devendra Fadnavis. Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, India's most populous state, is run by Yogi Adityanath. Kerala, India's most literate state, and it ties with Mizoram and Manipur kind of places. Kerala is, Kerala also has the highest sex ratio in the southern states, and it's run by P. Vijayan. P. Vijayan. Name the rescue mission through which the Indian government undertook the disaster relief and rescue efforts after a major earthquake in Myanmar. This was called Operation Brahma. Operation Brahma. To India's east, you would find Myanmar, and it's a pretty large country, my friends. Very large country. Its capital is Naypyidaw. This is a capital, Naypyidaw. And it's run by the military junta. This J is pronounced H, remember this, junta. Okay, we found a dance, the Jharkhandi dance, junta, folk dance. So this is junta here, and so military rule, especially at the top, is junta, and the current leader of the junta is Liang Ong. Okay, Min. You simply remember Liang. That should be fine, my friends. Okay, and the currency is kyat. What is it? Kyat. That's a currency of kyat is a currency of Myanmar. India has been among the very first countries to respond to the devastation that happened in Myanmar. We sent tons of food materials, hundreds of personnel to rescue those who were trapped under rubble. Yeah. Which has become the first African country to sign the International Solar Alliance's country partnership framework? Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mauritius. Let me use a little slightly different color, red maybe. Yeah. This is Mauritius, you can see it here. It's a group of islands, this one. Okay. Mauritius, my friends, is ruled from Port Louis. This is the capital, the Port Louis. Angola, this is Angola. The capital is Luanda. Algeria, this is Algeria. It's Africa's biggest country by area. It's Abdelmajid Tebboune. This is the name of the ruler, Abdelmajid Tebboune. Nigeria, you can see this in green here, Africa's most populous country, and this is run by a guy called Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu. Egypt, you can see this in green here, and this is run by, let me clear all of the names, quite a mouthful of his, Abdel Fattah LCC, former military chief, dictator actually, though he participates in democracy, conducts in elections, but all elections are rigged in his favor. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Oh, sorry. Which Indian business person has joined the IMF, International Monetary Fund Managing Directors Advisory Council on Entrepreneurship and Growth? Natarajan Chandrasekaran, the chairperson and CEO of Tata Sons. Tata Sons. Okay. Kumar Mangalam Birla, head of Aditya Birla Group. Aditya Birla Group. Aditya Birla Group is huge, my friends. It owns Grasim, Hindalco, Idea Cellular, which is a partner in Idea, Vodafone Idea, Ultratech. Oh man, you have all these brands like Peter England, Louis Philippe, Van Heusen, Alan Sony. These are all owned by this company. Fair. Shiv Nadar, founder of HCL Group, he is the chairman emeritus and founder of HCL, founder of HCL, Hindustan Computers Limited. He is also called the father of India's computer industry. Gautam Adani, Mukesh Ambani, you know anyway. So, Shiv Nadar, father of India's computer industry. Which agency has successfully secured the extradition of Tahabur Hussain Rana, one of the masterminds of the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks? This was National Investigation Agency. This is what is called a post facto agency, my friends. It comes into picture after the event has happened. Okay, yeah. You know, we have all of these organizations here, and let's go with okay. Central Bureau of Investigation is headed by Subodh Kumar Jaiswal. Subodh Kumar Jaiswal. Enforcement Directorate is, I think, Rahul Naveen. National Security Guard, Brigu Srinivasan. NIA, Sadanand Date. And coming to the Intelligence Bureau, which is India's primary intelligence for internal, internal operations, that is internal within the country, intelligence operations within the country. Tapan Deka. Yeah. Brigu Srinivasan, Sadanand Date, Subodh Kumar Jaiswal. The 9th edition of the Global Technology Summit was held under the theme of Sambhavana at New Delhi. There is hardly anything else that I can discuss. Hey, for a change, I will bring in airports. Okay, just the names of airports. Like for example, Lucknow is home to Chaudhry Charan Singh International Airport. So the airport in Lucknow is named after the former Prime Minister of India, who was there around for about 6 months, which is 79-80, Chaudhry Charan Singh International Airport. Ahmedabad, the first Home Minister and Deputy Prime Minister of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. Raipur Airport, it may surprise you, is named Swami Vivekananda International Airport. New Delhi, as you know, is Indira Gandhi International Airport. Ranchi Airport is named after the great freedom fighter and tribal leader Birsa Munda International Airport. Just for fun, I brought in the airports today. Yeah, different kind of thing, my friends. So, which Indian company has been recognized as 2025 Steel Sustainability Champion by World Steel for the 8th consecutive year? Tata Steel. Only in this case, let me bring in CEOs of 2 companies. Tata Steel is run by T.V. Narendran. He is a CEO and Managing Director, T.V. Narendran. Tube Investments, Mukesh Ahuja. You know, Tube Investments is a part of Murugappa Group. You know this company called Paris? If you have heard of Paris, chocolates, sugar and all that? Yes. Yeah. Murugappa Group. Who is the new chairperson of the Indian Banks Association? Challa Srinivasulu Shetty, who is the chairperson of State Bank of India. Challa Srinivasulu Shetty. The rest are mentioned, so I am not going to discuss, my friends, anything more than what's already mentioned. Yeah. Which Indian has been reappointed as the chairperson of the ICC, that is the International Cricket Committee. International Cricket Committee is men's cricket committee. It's Saurav Ganguly. Women's committee, I went to ICC's website and I found Women's Cricket Committee chairperson is Clara Cooper. Clara Cooper. Since our Saurav Ganguly is mentioned as the chairperson of this men's committee, I found women's committee thing. Okay, nothing more than this. Hey, by the way, do you know ICC's headquarters are in Dubai? They are in Dubai, and its CEO is Geoff. I'm sorry. Let me clear this. Geoff Allardyce. What is it? Allardyce. Geoff Allardyce. Okay. It's good to know these kinds of things, my friends, because IPL is happening. IPL is a part of life, and some of us may not like it, but we can't wish it away, isn't it? Oh, that's all from me, my friends. Thank you for being here. Have a lot of fun. Please make sure you follow our social media handles, so to get that you stay updated about the latest happenings on our channels. Thank you once again for being here. Thank you so much.